Hello, my name is Kyle Chambers, and I'm here with my Team NMAC teammate, Tommy LeDuc. Thank you for joining the show today, Tommy.
Man, excited to be here. And you said it before me, Team NMAC, man. That's great news for you. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a really cool experience for me, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity that the president of NMAC, Michael Plate, has given me, and I'm really excited. So it's going to be awesome, and I'm excited for what's ahead, and I'm really excited to be teammates with yourself and Julian Shamoon and many others. I think what Michael's doing, helping out athletes from all different styles of sport karate and bringing us on one team from several countries around the world is really awesome. So yeah.
100%, man. We have guys like in sport karate, WKF karate. We have fighters, MMA. You know, we all these guys and girls are just coming up together, like you said, from all over the world. And now that COVID is like slowly but surely getting there, there's gonna be events all together and from all over. So that's gonna be excited too. And yeah, we're all gonna train and get better and start the wheel back up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe tell the story of how you got on Team NMAC.
I got a Team NMAC. Well, first I'm from a school called Karate Sanfuki down here in Quebec, and so I was competing a lot. You know, I was getting out there. You know, very young. I was doing all the whole NASCAR circuit. I was doing the regional circuits here, and my parents were like, the more the better. You know, like I was get out there every weekend. We were out there competing, and by the age of I believe 14, 15, I started to have I was unmotivated. Like I didn't want to compete that much, and but I was still out there, you know, because my parents were school owners. So we had to be there on the weekends, you know, like, so I had to follow them. As you know, I was coaching, I was out there, and it was too hard for me not to put the gi on, you know, like I was like, okay, I'm here already. Let's just put the gi in the belt and go compete. So competed all the time. And then it was at I believe it was the Canadian Open. They don't do that tournament anymore. But I believe it was the Canadian Open down in Ottawa. And I made the stage that night, competing on stage, and Mike was there. Mike was actually my center judge. He was the center judge down there. So really liked the forum, started talking, and I was really friends with Dennis Blachos at the time. And he was very close in the team with Mike and stuff. And he's like, man, you should like start pushing more, because at the time I was just, by 14, 15, like I said, I was just competing just to compete. You know, wasn't training, wasn't doing much. And he's like, man, like you're not training and you're making stages like in national events. Like you imagine if you train, you know, you get sponsored and get on the team and stuff. So Mike and Dennis talked to me on that night after the show. So did another event, won the grands down there. And after that, it was a Quebec Open, the NASCAR event. So he's like, Quebec Open. He texted me. He's like, Quebec Open. Do you want to wear your Sanfuki gi, or you like an NMAC? So I'm like, whoa, okay. So that's an offer I can't refuse. And we talked about it. And beforehand, I talked about Mike that if I was going to be on a sponsor team, I would love to be on his team. You know, because all the people involved, I knew the people, and I liked what they brought to the table. It was new, you know. It existed for a while, but you know, it was like up and coming team. You know, like they were starting to win a lot. So I'm like, man, I think I want to be on that team. So the week after, I basically had the text, and we talked about Mike. I'm like, okay, I'm down. So Quebec Open, he's like, meet me at my hotel. So I go down to his hotel. He has this big box of like white gis, black gis, track suits, bags, hoodies, t-shirts. And he's like, here you go, buddy. Go and compete, go win, go have fun. So I'm like, Wow. Okay. That's how it happens. So put the gi on, and from there, man, since man, it's been almost like 8 years now. So that's crazy.
I believe the team as a whole is 11 or 12 years old. I remember I did a podcast for the 10th anniversary. I wasn't on the team at that point, but I remember I organized it with Michael, and then I think if I remember off the top of my head, it was yourself,
Yeah.
Diego Hernandez from Mexico, Jacob Parisi, who's also from Quebec. Um, there was more than that. Those are the ones I can think of right now. But anyways, it was a bunch. Oh, Julian Shamoon. Uh,
Yeah, we had Diane, I think. So
yeah. So there was a bunch of us on it. Michael Play was on too, talking about the history of the team, what the team was about, what the team meant. And it was really, really cool to have that. And it's amazing over 10 years how Michael has grown the team, not just with the amount of people, but the people from all over the world. He's really made a point of building internationally and having people from all different types of sport karate. And for me, that's one reason why I wanted to be on the team, is because he helps promote people that sometimes they are major athletes, but they become major athletes while being on his team. And
yeah.
he brings them up, and then they become major athletes as they get to that point. Even we were talking before the podcast started, like people like Julian Shamoon, he was someone who Michael basically came to him and said, similar to you, if you really work hard and you want to do this and train, you can go and be really, really good. I think Julian Shamoon, from what I can remember the story, Julian was about 20 years old. He said, Michael, I want to retire and stuff. And Michael basically convinced him to come back to competition. He's a team member now, and he's a team captain now, and he's a really, really good traditional competitor, in my opinion. Over the last several years, from what I can see, he's one of the better traditional competitors in the men's circuit in WKC and the NASCA circuit, and Michael helped him out that way too. So it's really cool and he's helped out so many athletes too from all over the world and travel all over the world too. Like before the pandemic, I follow him on Facebook. He can be in Toronto one weekend and be in California the next, and Chicago the next. Like he's committed to his team. He loves his team, and he's committed to recruiting new athletes and having kind of a family atmosphere on the team as well.
And what I like the most also is just basically Mike is very like unbiased about like what school you're from, like there's no like story or like, oh, you're from that school, I'm not gonna recruit you. You're from that school, I'm not. No, like you're up and coming, you have talent, you're good, come on over, we'll help you out. And there's no really like political stuff around it, like you're from any school, from anywhere. If you work hard, you have talent, you're up and coming, chances are, man, if you get spotted and you work hard, maybe it'll be your turn, So from wherever you are.
Absolutely. This is a really interesting question because I got different reactions from different people. Do you think that the virtual tournaments will continue as we come out of the pandemic? Or do you think it's a hybrid? Do you think in person it'll just be in person after we get out of the pandemic?
Yeah, interesting question, man, honestly. But no, I believe virtual is gonna go down. I don't think we're gonna continue virtually anymore. If it happens for any reason, we have like another boom of COVID or whatever, like, yeah, I think we're always gonna. It's always gonna be like a on the side. It's always gonna be there. We've tested it out, we've done it. It works. People like it. Some people don't, but like it's always gonna be there. It's always gonna be like in a secret bag. You're like, okay, whatever happens, we're gonna turn towards that. So it's nice to know that we have an alternative. That we have something that we're used to do for the past years, and like the last couple months, like we have something to turn towards to if it goes wrong. But no, I think people are really eager. They really want to go out there. They want to compete, because there's a lot of guys I know from getting people from my dojo, from my school, that were like, okay, no, we're not feeling it, the virtual stuff, like they're not feeling it really. So people want to go out there. That's why they compete. You know, I think they want to. It's not just being on the mat and doing it in person. It's what takes it all. You know, like getting to the tournament. You know, the drive or the traveling to go there. Getting there and then going to the hotel room, seeing new people, meeting new people, seeing friends that you see every tournament, every once or twice a month. You know, so it's all that, you know, and so I think virtual tournaments are not going to be a thing when everything comes back to normal, like, and it's starting to get back there now, but everywhere all around the world. But I think it's like I said, it's always going to be in there, you know, it's always going to be on the side. It's something that we're going to turn towards to if we need to, but no, I don't believe it's going to be a thing. More and more that we do in-person events now, and Canada's going to be like, they're taking off the mask mandates now in Canada really soon. So no, it's gonna be on the side, but not a thing anymore.
I totally see where you're coming from. For me, I think I'm going to do the hybrid virtual and in person, but I know that in the SWKF in my style, they're considering bringing in-person tournaments back here in the next few months. And I like the in-person tournaments locally because for me, usually the local tournaments are only 50 minutes away from where I live. But just the experience, yeah, being there, and I help judge and help compete, and you compete against your friends and hang out and talk, and that experience is really cool. And you don't get that virtually, because virtually you turn on Zoom, they say, you know, welcome to so-and-so tournament. You do the tournament and then you log off, and then that's it. And I do love the virtual tournaments because it has people from all over the world that can come and do it conveniently. But see where you're coming from, the in-person. There's so much more to the in-person other than just being on the mat competing. And that's it. You can help out, you can do A, B, C, D, and you can just be there and experience it. So it is really cool.
Yeah. 100%, man.
Absolutely. As you get back to more in-person tournaments, do you think you're going to be doing traditional kata or creative, or what realm of things do you think you're going to be doing as far as the style of karate you're going to be doing for sport?
Well, for sport karate, for what it's worth, I think like right now, like I'm at a level or a pace that like you choose, you know, like you really want to get good, and not like you don't want to be like a jack of all trades, you know what I mean? Like, yes, it's good, you know, I believe like the more you do the better, and the more you touch at a little thing better, but at our level you can't do that, you know, because if you're a jack of all trades, well, you're kind of like a master of none, you know how the saying works. So I think I really want to, traditional weapons is a big division I want to get into, because I've been a sword guy like all my life, and I really want to go back there, get the sword out, and you know, just kill on the traditional weapons. And creative is one I like too, but it's really like before I was really like a musical open forms guy and all that, but you know, I've stopped really like going after tricks, and like in my tricking, like I've stopped like I think like I'm at a certain point right now, like where I didn't want to push through tricks, you know, like I've like maxed out not what I'm able to, but like I maxed out like where I want to go. And because I was getting injured a lot and like pushing through tricks, so I was just doing tricks that I was able to do steady all the time, you know. So but my tricking is like at a good level, but not the level like to really get to win in those musical open forms division. So creative is a division that I really like, because you know I could do all those tricks that you're allowed to do in creative. It's all tricks that land clean, that I like to do. And I'm a guy who's like kind of known for the musical forms that is clean, you know, and his hand combos and stuff like that. So creative is really a division that really for me, you know. So, creative, traditional, I love traditional forms. So I think traditional and creative are like a lot of the same. One you're allowed to trick and the other, it's just really traditional karate. And traditional weapons, I think is going to be a big one for me coming out there, especially on the NASCAR circuit. And it's gonna yeah. So I think these three divisions are gonna be big for me. And but I've always been a guy who's like who likes all trades. Who that's who I am. I like I mentioned a little bit earlier, but like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I just started competing in that. I competed kickboxing, I competed in this and that. So I like to do a lot of stuff. So the three divisions that I mentioned, like these are probably the three that I'm really gonna concentrate about and like put a lot of focus on it. But I wouldn't be surprised if like at a tournament I just decided to like, okay, I feel like doing musical weapons, boom, or I feel like doing point fighting and I'm just gonna go, So, but yeah, to answer your question, these three divisions are gonna be massive, and watch me get on stage very, very soon with those divisions.
Absolutely. I'll be cheering for you on the sideline, and I bet you the Team NMAC will be too. For me, I've been getting into, I'm always going to do traditional forms. I like traditional forms divisions. I'm decent in the traditional forms divisions, and I do it on the para level and in the able-bodied a little bit in the normal division, but I like the para traditional forms. And I've done traditional weapons too. I'm creative forms, like you said, but now I'm really getting into the creative weapon side of it and the tricks and the throws and what I can do off the base of my karate. And that's what I've been my passion has been going in that direction, which has been really, really cool. I've been taking my weapon, which is very similar to a bow staff, and learning new things from different people. Solange Olivier from Team AKA, Mario Amato from Team AKA, and others have been helping me to up my game, to see what I can do within my abilities. And it's been really cool to learn tricks in the creative weapons division. And it's really cool. There's something about throwing a weapon and then catching it that's really, really cool that can't be explained. It's sort of almost like a rush feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it 100%.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So that's what I'm going towards now for the sports side of it. But traditional forms is something that I'm always going to train for and always going to get better at. And it's always going to be something that even when I'm not competing in it, it's always something I'm going to train and always have in my back pocket. I'm always going to think about doing it. But yeah, right now, creative weapons is really, really cool. I'm the first in my star to really do creative weapons and want to do creative weapons. So it's really cool because I'm inventing new things with the bow staff I have in my style. So it's really cool from that perspective as well.
It's really to be freely also, when you do creative forms, it's your personality it's like, that's how I view it. It's your style, your personality that comes out when you do the form. Like some guys, they invent like throws, or they invent their own hand combo. Like it could go like just throwing like an arrow like during a hand combo. It's not really real, but it's you. It's who you are, your personality. It reflects your style and how you execute it, how you do it. And that's where I think creative forms and creative weapons, it's two divisions that nobody's the same, like, versus like traditional karate. I mean, yes, there's a lot of differences, but there's a lot of similarities also. You take katas like Shantayara Kusanku or stuff like that, like a Shantayara Kusanku is a Shantayara Kusanku. Even if your speed is different or the execution is different, like it stays the same. It's similar. But in creative forms and creative weapons, nobody's the same. Nobody does the same, exactly the same throws or throws the same way, or so it's not by the book. It's freely. It's like a freedom of movement, and you're allowed to do what you want, how you want to do, and it's based from there. It's like style versus style. Like just move freely and do your thing.
Absolutely. Someone like Jackson Rudolph, he's a phenomenal bow staff competitor. He's done all different types of videos, seminars. He's out every weekend all across the states doing seminars. He has team competitive edge that he does with Reed and Cole Presley. I believe he's on Team Paul Mitchell. But one of the things he stresses is have those basics, make sure your basics are strong, and then build off of that. And I think that's what every martial artist does. You have your basics, and I mean your basics, the basics from your traditional school, your original schools, your group of schools, and then you go out and you have those basics, and those strong things will follow after that with your tricks and stuff. And you go to these different events. And I've seen Jackson Rudolph and Mallory Woods do broadcasts at the Battle of Atlanta and these different tournaments. And they always say, and even the AK Warrior Cup, and they always say having those traditional basics are important because that's what the judges are going to look for at the end of the day. And then your other stuff comes off of that. And when a great athlete has both those things down to a science, it's really an art. And these great athletes can show their personality through that. And I think the extreme creative divisions, it really ups the game of the athlete because these athletes are more athletic because it makes them better athletes as a whole. And it makes it really entertaining to have these great karate athletes traditionally come out and push their limits. And I find with creative extreme, you're constantly pushing your limits to be better. And it's great to watch these phenomenal competitors go out and do their thing. I think of names like Mary Amato. She doesn't compete much anymore, but she took her traditional base and she made it into something really cool with some of the great things she did, the going down into the splits and things of that nature. Even like Solange Olivier, her musical form is phenomenal because she knows exactly what to do with her pacing of her weapon and turn it into something really, really elite with the pacing and the throws and the combos, which is really, really cool as well. Haley Glass from Team Paul Mitchell is another one. Julian Shamoon from Team NMAC is another one. He has done, I think, a lot of different creative weapons forms, and he's really done that. And it's really, really cool to see all these athletes up their game through creative and extreme. So I think creative and extreme, it can help, if you do it properly, it can help the athlete more than traditional say it can hinder the athlete, if you know what I mean.
It's just about thinking outside the box too, like if you're only like seeing like this, okay, I'm doing this, I'm only doing that, and this is how you have to do it. But creative forms of creative weapons divisions, like you see more, your vision opens up and what's possible and what you can do with your body and your movement and strikes and throws. And I'm not saying there's a big argument out there about creative forms are not effective, and like real traditional people, they're gonna be like, oh, creative forms, you're not gonna do that in real life, you're not gonna do that in of course not. Okay, but as a martial artist, it's out there and you're thinking outside the box, and like that, like I said to these guys, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that in the streets, but what about you? You're only focused on one thing, but if that one thing you're only practicing to think about that particular stuff, you're not thinking outside the box, you're not viewing what's possible, what kind of strikes, what kind of what kind of body movement. And like you said, I think it helps to be better athletes as a whole. And it's just like your view of martial arts from creative forms and creative karate is just more wide. You see more stuff basically. So yeah, I think you're just a better martial artist as a whole, and it's one part of martial arts that exists, that's out there, and if you touch it, well, it's just gonna wide up. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Man, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for everyone for listening to this podcast today. My name is Kyle Chambers.